A child narrates a story about their town where lots of people died in some weird manner, but officials and police hush all this up as they were embarrassed. The story starts when one day in school, every class is full except for a new teacher, Justine Gandy, whose classroom is empty except for one student, Alex Lee. Because earlier that night, every kid woke up at 2:17 and got out of bed, then out of the house into the dark, and they never came back. In the morning, police start their investigation. Given that numerous student residences have surveillance cameras, their departure times are easily recorded, confirming that they leave voluntarily. They interrogate Justine, but she says she doesn't know anything. They also ask Alex if the students are pulling any pranks, but he says he doesn't know anything about that. As the police continued their investigation, the school had to be closed for 1 month. But without any progress, the school authority decided to open the school for the other students. Before opening the school, they called a big meeting for everyone to discuss about the matter. Here we will follow Justine. A councilman is making a speech about how to overcome the situation when one of the students, Matthew's dad, Archer, stands up and demands to know why they are unable to make any progress on the investigation. Why don't they interrogate Justine more, as it's only her classroom's students who are missing? Others also riled up, demanding answers. Justine comes to address the crowd, saying she is also confused and sad like they are. But the parents are angry and accuse her of doing something to the children. Their school principal, Marcus, defends her, saying she is also a victim. But the parents are very angry, so they have to escort her to the car, and they tell her to stay away until everything cools down. Justine leaves from there and arrives at a liquor shop and buys a bunch of drinks. She is getting threatening calls from unknown numbers. She comes back to her house, checking everywhere as she feels someone is following her. She is drinking and watching TV when someone knocks on the door. Afraid, she asks who it is, but no answer. She checks through the door hole and the window, but finds no one there. She is about to go back when suddenly someone knocks hard again. This time, she comes out of the houses, but finds no one there. But she sees someone has written "which" on her car. The next morning, she tries to clean it up, but fails. She goes back to the school, but the principal says it's best if she takes some time off as the investigation is still ongoing. She reports the last night's incident to the police, where she sees Paul, whom she fancies. Later at night, she meets with Paul. Apparently, they had an affair, and they talked about the recent incident. She is drinking heavily, but Paul doesn't want to, but is forced by her. In the morning, Paul wakes up beside her. She gives him a ride. She asks about the progress of the investigation, but he says just leave it to the investigators. She goes back to the school and follows Alex to his house. She sees Alex entering the house, and then goes to knock on the door. But no one comes out, so she goes back of the house to check and finds the windows of the house are covered by paper. She tries to look into the house from a window and gets shocked seeing his parents sitting there motionless. She reports this to Marcus, saying he needs to check on him, but Marcus says she shouldn't get involved in those, as everything is still tense. To ease her, he says he will call Alex's parents. She goes to the liquor shop, where she is attacked by Paul's wife, Donna, as she knows about last night. Later, she is in her home sleeping, where she dreams she is back at school. Every student is back in the classroom, sleeping. One wakes up and looks at her funny. She wakes up and sees a weird woman in her ceiling. This time, she wakes up finally. The next morning, she confronts Alex in front of his house, saying she is worried about him, but he tells her not to follow him and runs back to the house. She then goes and bangs on the door, but nobody comes out. She decided to wait in his car. At night, she has fallen asleep when the door opens. A woman comes out with a scissor and goes inside the car. She takes a piece of her hair and leaves. Now we will follow Archer's story. He is conducting his own investigation, rewatching his son's video of him running away over and over. He goes to the police station to talk to Police Captain Ed, who says they are doing what they can, but he demanded to know why they are not investigating Justine more. He replies that she is in her house and the children have gone out of their own free will. It's the same night the townspeople gather, and Archer makes his stand. When everybody was following Justine, he sneaked into his car and followed her to the house. The paint on the back of his car indicates that he is the one who rode on his car. At night, he has a nightmare where he sees his son running away, and he follows him and arrives at a house. He goes inside and finds him sleeping, but he is not talking. Suddenly, he turns into a weird woman when he wakes up from the nightmare. In the morning, he decides to locate the direction where his son may have gone. He draws a line on a map. He then goes to another student's house who has gone missing. He asks his mother if he can see the footage from that night, but the woman declines, but he still waits, and when the father comes, he asks him, and he shows him. He then also starts to locate his direction. He draws another line from their house and finds an intersection. He goes to check the place, but is unable to find anything useful when he sees Justine at a petrol pump. He goes there and confronts him. They are arguing when Justine sees Marcus, bloodied, weirdly running towards him. He comes and launches an attack on Justine. Shocked, Archer tries to help her, but he pushes him away. Justine runs toward the store, and Archer tries to stop him. but he madly wants to attack him and turns to choke Archer. Now we will follow Paul. He is going on his patrol when he sees Justine waving at him, and he waves back. He is driving when he sees that a sketchy guy is trying to rob a house. Paul intervenes, and he runs from there, but he is able to catch him. The man says his name is James. Paul asks if he has anything pointy in his pocket, as he will search. He says no, and he starts his search. Suddenly, he gets jabbed by a syringe. Angry, he punches the guy, but he realizes that his car cam has recorded everything. He first tended his wound. He then goes to James and wakes him up. He says he will let him go, but if he sees him back at the police station, it will be worse for him. He then goes back to the station and meets the police captain, who's also his father-in-law, and tells him everything. He tells him if the man doesn't complain that it will be buried, but if he does, he can't help him. He then goes to meet with Justine, and they spend the night. When he comes back home, he sees that his wife has come early from her work trip. Seeing his guilty face, Donna understands what happened. He comes back to the station, where he sees James coming towards the police station. Angry, he curses and goes towards him. Seeing him, James runs from there. Paul, with his car, follows him. Now let's see James' story. In the jungle in his tent, he is looking for a good hit, but is unable to do so. So goes out looking for a place to rob when he encounters Paul, and the incident happens. After that, he finds Alex's home, and thinking nobody is home, decides to rob it. He breaks into the house and takes anything he can sell. He comes downstairs checking things when he is shocked to see Alex's parents sitting on the sofa. He checks them out, and they are completely motionless. He then resumes his robbery and goes to the basement to check. He sees all the missing students standing there motionless. When a student looks at him, he runs away from there and locks the basement door. Suddenly, the parents stand up and walk towards him. Afraid, he runs out from there. They close the door behind him. He is selling the stolen items at a store when he sees a poster about the missing children, promising a handsome reward. He then calls the police, but they tell him to come down to the station. So he goes there and sees Paul. Running from him, goes into a jungle where he sees the weird woman waving at him. Afraid, he hides in his tent. He sees someone approaching the tent. He takes the syringe and stabs the perpetrator with it, but it's Paul who has come looking for him. Angry, he pulls him out of the tent and points a gun at him. He claims to know where the missing children are. Reluctant at first, but decides to check it out. They are in front of Alex's home. Paul goes and knocks on the door, and someone takes him inside. He didn't come out for a long time. Suddenly, he comes out and pulls him inside the house. Now the story of Marcus. He is shopping with his partner Terry when Justine calls to check out Alex's house. He is in the office when Alex's great-aunt Gladys comes to meet with him as Alex's guardian. She says his parents are sick and he is looking after them. Marcus says that there is a complaint about Alex's well-being, so he must go and check out his parents. She asks if Justine complained, but Marcus doesn't answer when she says he can come and visit the house. Marcus is in the house when someone rings the doorbell. It's Gladys. She says she is in a bit of a problem and goes inside the home. She asks for a bowl of water. Confused, they do so. She takes out a tree bark and cuts herself with it. She covers it with her blood when Terry tries to help, and she takes out one of his hairs. She is starting to bind the hair. Seeing all this, Marcus tries to call the police when she takes out a bell and rings it. He goes into a trance. He then breaks the bark, and Marcus start to attack Terry. He bashed his head with his own head. She puts the bark in water, and he stops. She then put Justine's hair and did the same spell. He runs out of the house to attack her. Archer is trying to stop him, but pushing him aside, he enters the store where Justine is hiding. But Archer again comes to intervene. Justine flees from the store into his car, but Marcus is still running behind him. She runs away with the car. Archer comes out and sees Marcus running behind the car. He also starts to follow him in his car. Suddenly, a car hit running Marcus. Archer comes out and sees his head completely bashed. He is in the hospital, telling the cops about the incident. When he comes out and sees Justine waiting for him, she thanks him for helping her and says he is truly sorry for his son, but doesn't know what happened to him. He then shows him his findings. Justine points out Alex's home near the cross-section of the lines. Now see Alex's story. After school ends, his father picks him up and says that his mother's aunt will come and live with them as she is very sick. He arrives at the house, and his mother tells him to be in his room as they will go pick up her aunt. At night, he sees they have come with the aunt. He tries to take a peek at the aunt's room and sees an old, sick woman looking at him. He goes to school, and when school ends, he sees that his dad didn't come to pick him up, so he walks back home. He enters the house and finds his parents sitting motionless. He tries to talk with them, but they just sit there with a few words. Aunt Glades comes there, says they are fine, they are just sick. Confused, Alex throws water at his father, but there is no reaction. She angrily tells him to go to his room. The next morning, when Alex comes down and is shocked to see his father and mother in the same position, Glades says that when he goes to school, he will not tell anyone about what's happening here. To scare him, he does the same ritual with his parents' hair, and they start to hurt themselves. He tries to stop them when Glades puts them into the water, and they stop. She says that she can do much worse if he doesn't listen to him. He goes to school on the bus, and when he comes back to the house, he sees Gladys in her room doing some ritual. She tells him that he needs to feed his parents to keep them alive. He feeds them canned soup and goes to the supermarket to bring more canned food to feed them. One day, he sees Gladys very sick. She calls him and says she is dying. She thought his parents might help them, but it's not working. When Alex asks what he can do to help him, she says if he can bring one item from each of his classmates, he will get better. And after getting better, she will leave them alone. The next day at school, when the kids are playing, he sneaks into the classroom and steals all the nameplates. Suddenly, Justine comes there asking if something is wrong. He tells her that everything is fine. He gives them to Gladys, and he does her rituals and tells him to open the door. Shocked, he sees all his classmates running towards their house. The next day at school, he is alone in class. The police come to interrogate. Gladys conceals his father's wound and goes to talk with the police. She says she is looking after him as his parents are sick. They move the children from a house as the police come to search the house. The police come but can't find anything unusual. He is now feeding all the students and his parents. One day, when he comes back from the house, he sees Paul standing motionless, and behind him is James in the same situation. He runs toward his room when Gladys tells him to pack his things. They will be leaving soon. Before going to his room, he tells him not to cross the salt line. He sees that his parents are guarding the room. He is sleeping in his room when he sees a car waiting in front of the house. Justine and Archer are in the car, thinking about what they should do next. When the door opens and Paul comes out asking them to come inside, they go inside a house, and Justine steps into the salt line. James comes out and attacks Archer. Justine sees Paul running toward her, and then he attacks her. She runs from him into the kitchen, but he grabs her and starts to choke him. Archer is beating James, but no matter how many times he hits, he is still trying to attack him. Alex is trying to go towards his parents, step on the salt barrier, and his parents run to attack him. Archer is throwing James away, but he keeps coming back and pushes him through the basement door. Alex is also getting attacked by his parents. Justine tries to peel Paul's skin to stop him, but he has no effect, so she takes his gun and shoots him in the head. Archer is getting crushed by James when she comes there and shoots him. Archer goes inside the basement and tries to search for him among them when Gladys attacks him and takes his locket. Justine is checking on Paul when suddenly Archer comes and starts to choke him. Alex is running from his parents and goes inside Gladys' room. He sees one of the tree bark and takes it. He hides in the bathroom and does her ritual. He finds one of her hairs and binds it. Gladys comes out and watches Archer choking Justine. As soon as Alex breaks the bark, she realizes and sees all the children running out of the basement. She runs from the house as the children all run behind him. She runs through people's houses, and the children run behind her, destroying things on their path. They catch up with her and start to tear her up. With her dead, everybody gets free from the enchantment. Archer again starts to look for his son. Following the path of destruction, he sees the children standing still, and among them, he sees his son. But he is still silent like before. Justine goes up to check on Alex and sees him hugging his motionless parents. The child narrator says that Alex goes to live in a different town with a relative after his parents were admitted to a mental institution because of their condition. All the children were reunited with their parents, and some even started to speak. That's a wrap on Weapons 2025. Check out our other videos as well.